Hi, my name is Ann, and I am a server here at Jackson's Steakhouse. Typical day starts around 4 o'clock. I am part of the evening wait staff. When we come in, we check our side worksheets to see what section we've been assigned to, and depending on the section, we actually have opening side work. It consists of setting up a drink station with teas and coffees, cappuccino and espresso machines. We also have a bread station where chef has provided certain delicacies and breads for the evening, and we're responsible for making butters to go with the tables as well. And there is also a co-closer side work where they're responsible for polishing the closer section and making sure that the day shift has an even transition into the night. We typically, 15 to 30 minutes before the start of service, we have a lineup meeting where our chef will go over features for the day, our mixed green salad, any low counts we might be with, as well as our bar staff goes over the lows and specs for the bar of that day as well. During dinner service, we are responsible for maintaining our tables as well as any of the food placement orders, wine service, cocktails, and the timing from the food arriving with the different courses from the kitchen. Now, something that's special about fine dining are the rules and regulations that go with its service. For instance, we always do open-handed service, where we're never crossing our arms in front of the guest. We serve food from the left-hand side, from the guest's left side, and we remove placeware and settings from the right side. This always makes sure that the guest isn't being obstructed by our arms. Another thing, our placement of glassware. We never want to move glassware once a guest has moved them, but there are the little intricacies of the way that the tables are set up being very even and symmetrical, so it's aesthetically pleasing to guests while they come into the restaurant. Once dinner service is over, each server is responsible for turning in their cash out reports, any money or credit cards slips that are due to the house, as well as the closing side works, which include breaking down of certain stations and setting up your section for the next day's service. There isn't really a formal education that's necessary for the job, but I really would recommend somebody working at least a year or two in a casual fine dining environment where you're really learning the ropes of what your job is, not only as a salesman for the business through food and wine sales, but learning how each day really works out and your guest interaction. I would recommend that even if you're a quiet person, that you have good communication skills with your guests, because it really does come down to guest relations and the relationships that we build that really keep people coming back. I had a chef say a long time ago that you can have amazing food, but if your servers aren't taking care of your guests, the guests won't come back to enjoy the food. So it really is the responsibility of the server to ensure guest satisfaction as well. Now, we do have different certifications, food handling certifications, and quarterly alcohol distribution classes that we take, and that's just to maintain proper handling of food and to make sure that we are IDing guests correctly and not serving alcohol inappropriately. Studies have shown that once a liquor license has been removed, it is pretty catastrophic to any kind of restaurant. Part of the on-the-job training is learning about the menu and learning what each restaurant serves to their guests, but I found that it's a lot of on your own training while you're learning about different varietals of wines, what gets paired with different foods, as well as culinary terms. I see that most servers are junior chefs in their own right because they have to know what the chef has prepared and how it's being presented to the guest, so they can in turn be the messenger for the chef for the daily features and restaurant specials. Not a lot of people know, but there are disadvantages as well as advantages to working in fine dining. One disadvantage is you do not ever have a holiday off. You work Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, so your weekends and any major holiday that you would normally spend with family, you're spent in the restaurant. At times, you have to be very cautious with how you interact with your guest. Sometimes guests aren't satisfied or aren't pleased about a particular part of their meal, and you have to be the one that finds the solution while remaining calm. I have seen that some servers are unable to handle this because it is hard when somebody's angry, and they're not necessarily angry with you, but they're taking their frustration out on you. And the other thing I would say that is a disadvantage is you work through every meal. Where people are sitting down to have dinner for the evening, you're actually trying to, eat a snack in between while you're taking care of your guest. So our food times and meal times become a little erratic, as well as the long hours that you'll spend on your feet. However, there are a lot of advantages to working in fine dining. First, I would say, is multitasking. You learn very quickly how to not only take care of your guest, but how to learn menu items, how to pair things well, and I think this really translates not only for restaurant work, but for other jobs that you might carry in the future. A lot of servers you'll find are still in college or use a serving job while they're finishing school, and those skills very easily transfer into what they want to do in the future. Another advantage is that there is an instant gratification for your work. Once a guest has left, the gratuity is there on the ticket, and it's stating how well you have been taking care of them. So instead of having to wait for an entire week, or sometimes two for your paycheck, a lot of servers will have cash on them at most times during the day because of their guest gratuity. So I think that you have to have a lot of energy to keep up with the fast-pacedness of this job. You're constantly running without taking care of guests throughout the evening, running back and forth from the kitchen, back and forth from the bar. And the biggest part is you really have to maintain your composure. Your guests can't see how frantic you are, or how on edge, or how long of a shift you've had, because you are the face of the restaurant and they need to have a pleasant experience the entire time they're here. Also, you need to be well organized. You need to be able to make quick decisions on your feet all night long. It is a very integral part of working in the restaurant is being able to not only serve the food and know your different wine varietals and cocktails, but being able to take care of your guests as well and give them what they're wanting goes into the efficiency that you'll have as a server. You also need to make sure that you take care of yourself outside of the restaurant. You need to exercise, eat good, healthy meals, because you will be running anywhere from 7 to 10 hour shifts at a time, and you need to be able to have the energy to make it through those shifts.